We're going to talk about finding yourself. 6 ways to find yourself. Just quick 6 steps to find who you are and to find the value in yourself. Okay. I know that sounds crazy because you're like, why do I need to find myself? Here I am. A lot of people struggle with that. And a lot of people get wrapped up in being a mom, being a student, being a wife, being a whatever. And they really don't keep focused on who they are. And it's hard to do that. It's one of the things that we struggle with in life. Trust me. I not only know this from myself, but I hear this from others. Okay. So let's talk about that. What's the importance of finding ourselves? Why do we want to find ourselves? We want to find ourselves because until we find ourselves, we're just running amok. We're out there being whoever, whatever, whoever anybody else wants us to be, do anything, right? We often let ourselves go and we start spiraling, and it causes anxiety, stress, worry, fear, all the things because we don't internally feel okay, right? So, what are we going to do? So, we're going to go through this. We're going to go through 1 through 6, and we're going to kind of discuss it a little bit just to kind of help us refocus, retrack, and get you guys ready for finding yourself again. Because once you do, it's amazing. Amazing. So, the first thing that you've got to do when you're sitting down to really find yourself is you've got to visualize what you want in life. Your visions of what you want in life have to be looked at because that's the only way that you're going to know what you really want to do from that point forward. If you want to live on a boat out in the ocean and you don't have anything but a car and an apartment, you're probably going to be needing to start somewhere, right? So if you can visualize what you're wanting, it helps you set goals to reach that. Okay. Because when I say finding yourself, it's nothing that's going to happen in a matter of seconds, in a matter of months, and it could take years. And that's okay. That's okay. A lot of people say, well, when I get older, I'm going to retire. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to travel the world. I'm going to do that. Start that now. If that's what you're thinking in the future, and that's what you're seeing, you better find yourself now and figure out what you need to do, who you need to be, what you want to accomplish before you do that, right? So you have to visualize about what you want, what you need, what it looks like for you. It gives you a journey to go on to get there. So it allows you to start at step A and go to Z. Okay. So you really got to visualize what you're wanting to be able to make a change. Okay. And then, second, number 2, you have to reflect on your relationships, whether it's your personal relationships, your family relationships, your work relationships, whatever it is, you really need to reflect on them and say, are these what I want or need in my life? Is there something I want to change? Is there something I need to do? Do I need to, um, make changes and make shifts to make sure that we can keep the relationships around us in more direct contact with who we are, right? In other words, you guys, I really have no desire to do drugs, never done a drug in my life. Um, if my relationships are reflecting people that are just all about that and they do drugs, it's probably not going to be healthy or beneficial for me because I'm not staying true to myself. Um, and it's not anything I would want to adapt to, right? If I'm in a relationship that's abusive or anything like that, that probably needs to be adjusted because when you find yourself, I'm sure you didn't find yourself in 15 years being abused, black eyes, hopefully alive. So we got to change and make sure those relationships help us get us on our way through our journey. Um, your relationships are affected, or sorry, your mental health is affected by your relationships a lot. And our relationships either can boost us or they can hold us down. And so you need to evaluate what's going on there, reflect on those relationships, and make adjustments where needed so that you can move on in your journey without having anything hold you down. Number 3, keep yourself organized. I never understood that growing up. Like, why did my mom always want me to clean my room? Why did it matter that the house was clean? Like, Why did any of that matter? I did not understand. Okay. But what I have understood as I got older is that the organization is a big key to finding, like, who I am. Like, if I am organized, me, myself, I am better. Okay. You may, not know this, but William and I are very picky people when it comes to our house. Like, we don't like dust. We don't like, there's just, we're picky people. We're very organized. Everything has a place, everything has a home. A funny story with that is that we tried to rearrange the office to help me with, some changes that I'm going to be making. And it felt so unorganized that neither of us were happy. We were both kind of like, "Rah." It just really affected the day almost because we were unorganized. It wasn't how it was supposed to be. It wasn't in place. So we had to make some adjustments. And we did, and it worked out, and life is good. But that organization is what keeps me functioning and allows me to feel safe, comfortable, and it keeps my mental health in check. If I'm not organized, I'm disorganized. That means chaos to me, right? It doesn't help me at all. It's not part of finding myself for sure. Okay. Number three, I think. No, number four. Four. You need to focus on yourself, focus on what you want, your passion, your desires. You have to keep you in the forefront of finding yourself. You have to be selfish in many ways. You have to be okay with saying, no, that doesn't fit in my cards. You have to be okay with going to do what you want to do, even if nobody else wants to do it. If you want to go play in the mud and nobody wants to do it, that's okay. But go be you, find you, do you, and go play in the mud because that's how you keep yourself healthy. That's how you keep your mental health clear. That's your clarity is by being able to take care of you, by doing what you want, you need, you desire. You got to take care of you. I know. Seems like that should be the first thing that we do, but it's not. Many a times we give and give and give and give and give and do to where we lose us. We lose our desires. We lose our wants. We lose our passions because we're so worried about giving and giving and giving to everybody else that we're very much irrelevant in our life story. And that's not how it should be. You can't have a life story if you don't have a you in it. So you have to make yourself a priority. You have to have your focus on you. You have to be selfish, if that's what people call it. And you have to be okay with that. You have to be proud of being selfish when it comes to doing what you want, you need, you deserve. You've got to keep on doing that to stay true to finding yourself. And that might change throughout your journey. Okay. It's okay if things change. So what you like today might not be what you like in 5 years, and that's okay. Because again, it's a journey. It's an ongoing journey. It's always going to change. But what's not going to change is the focus that you have on yourself. Okay? Make sense? I hope that does because I am needing everybody to be more selfish. Think for yourself, do for yourself, want for yourself, go for yourself, do for just all of yourself. Because what happens is when you're giving and giving and not being genuine to yourself or who you are, it makes it very miserable in life. Again, it creates a little bit of chaos that's hard to live with. And after a while, it becomes very chaotic. And people get a lot of anxiety when they've lived for everybody else. And then their self is just no one. They've done nothing for themselves. Right. So we have to really focus on ourselves. We have to focus on the us. We have to just do for us. We have to be like, just suck in all the us time that we can. And if people ask you to go on a freaking cruise and you don't like to go on a cruise, don't go on the cruise. If people want to go paint their life away and you don't like to paint, don't go paint. And if you invite people to go paint that go ride horses instead of painting and they don't go, oh well, keep going. Go ahead and do it. Because you have to focus on you. And I'm not saying that, be self centered all the time. I'm saying to keep yourself in check with yourself, you have to make you a priority too. Because if you don't, nobody else will. Part of finding yourself and your life and what you want and need is realizing that there's time that it's going to be lonely. And that's okay too. And the next thing with that is going to be know when to unplug. And guys, I'll be honest, I do this very well. We were talking the other day, and William's like, "Haven't you heard of that? It's all over social media. It's all over this." I'm like, "Boy, no, I don't. I don't go browsing the Facebook and the Instagram and the YouTube. I unplug so well that it's kind of unhealthy sometimes. You guys will see where there's gaps between my videos. Why? Because I have to unplug. I just have to do me. Like William was trying to get me to record last week when he was home, and I'm like, buddy, no. Why didn't I do that, guys? I had to unplug from this. I had to unplug from the camera. I had to unplug from the microphone. I had to unplug from making content because I needed to be part of myself. I needed to spend time with him. I needed that. I get him 3 to 5 days a week, a month, and I needed that to be time with him. I needed to unplug and I needed to be okay with it. I watch a lot of YouTubers. Well, more so, William watches a lot of YouTubers, and there's a lot of them that I really like. And he's got this one guy that he listens to, and I really like. Well, he's got two that I really like getting into, but one's been too much lately, so I had to unplug from that because I was plugged into that too hard, and it was a lot of drama and chaos, and it made me feel anxious for the whole situation. So I unplugged from that. I was like, nope, we're not going to do that because I've got to unplug to save myself. But he has this one friend that we would watch, and we've seen him in Vegas, and we've met up with him, a really genuine guy. I love when he was doing videos, and not because he was talking about anything that like important. He was just genuine. And so his live feeds would be very genuine and sincere. And that's all I ever want for myself too. But he unplugged from YouTube world. He like unplugged a year ago plus and said, I'm not doing it because it just creates a thing that I don't like. Hats off to him. I respect him so much for that. But I miss him. So I am going to tell him every time I talk to him, I want you to do a video. Guess what? He still ain't done no damn video, which I'm proud of, but I still can complain about it, right? But it's healthy to unplug. And I'm talking on a small scale because, I'm a small channel. I don't have a lot of people following me. And there's people that have way more followers, me, way more fame. There's all the things. And guess what? Even they have to unplug sometimes. Why? Why? Because many times, like I talked about before, it is freaking time to just do you, right? It is time to take care of you. And if that means you have to unplug from your friends, your job, I mean, I'll call in a heart. I haven't called in a while, but I'll call in for a heartbeat. If I needed it, I would call in. My job's pretty I love what I do, and there's not a day that I've called in because I think it's easy to say I'm going to work when you love what you do, right? But there are also perks to my job. Like I get to work from home one day for a week, if I have work to do. I get 2 days off. It's just, like my job's not something that's a problem, but if I needed to, I would unplug from that. And my job would understand or they wouldn't. I don't care. If I needed it, I would do it. Now, I wouldn't suggest unplugging from your job if you have a point system and it's your last point. If you only get 21 points and you're 20, probably don't unplug from that because you probably need that job to take care of yourself the way the society is today, right? So my point to that is, though, you have a lot of things that you can unplug from in life. And by unplugging from them, again, you're going to bring yourself peace. You're going to be being calm in your storm, basically, because a lot of things that we're plugged into cause some extra unneeded stress or anxiety or worry or fear or whatever. If you're one that watches the news every day and then can't go to bed because all the things that are happening in the world, you might want to unplug from it. You might want to just scale it back to where you watch the news first thing in the morning when you get up so that you don't go to bed with worry and fear. You've got to learn how to unplug. All right. So, on the last part here, the best one, save for last, number 6, keep moving forward. So, we had 5 things before this, and I said you have to, really work on getting in tune with who you are, what you want to find yourself. Again, I mentioned this earlier. It's not a today issue. It's not a tomorrow, next week. This is a lifelong journey. You have to stay in check with. You have to check back in and you have to continue to redo this sometimes weekly, monthly, yearly, whatever. Sometimes people use New Year's to sit down and make resolutions, revolution, whatever. New Year's resolutions. Yeah. Instead of doing resolutions, why don't you sit down and say, okay, what am I going to do for myself this year? And then recheck in on it. Okay. Because that's what's going to keep us focused and energized and thriving and doing and meeting every little piece of goal to get to who you truly are and finding yourself. Okay. It's not a, I found myself kind of thing, because we grow and change and our perspectives change and life changes. We have things that have happened. We have job changes. We have kids. We have all the things. So this can change on a regular, and what your vision was 6 months ago, when you sat there and you visualized what you wanted, that might change. So we might need to revisit that situation, and that's okay. But as long as you're following these little 6 tips, you're going to be able to come to find yourself a lot easier, find out who you are. And we're going to talk a bit about, why it's important to find yourself in the next video, which is going to be about boundaries. So if you will, just come back and check out that video. But for now, I just want to thank you guys for watching, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and have a great day, guys. Bye.